Están escuchando a IBS Radio.
Você está ouvindo IBS Rádio.
אתן מקשיבות ל-EBS רדיו.
지금 IBS 라디오를 듣고 계십니다.
Karibishwa kusikiza radio ya International Women's Space.
This paragraph 24 is the first time it has been used in Germany. It's a 21-year-old paragraph that is a European concept, and it's the first time that it applies in Europe. Can you explain to us what exactly this paragraph means and how it was quickly applied? Because the other people who are challenging some of this, like Inuplatz, were asking for the paragraph 23, but now there was a very quick paragraph 24. Could you kind of summarize this whole paragraph and see what exactly it provides?
You don't have to go through a long asylum procedure, and you don't have to go through individual interviews, and you don't have to convince anybody that you really need protection. You just state that you come from a zone where there is war, and you get immediately the protection. You get access to labor market, you get access to social money, and you get access to housing. So it means you don't have to stay in a lager, which makes a big difference for the people, especially the housing situation. So, and this was possible because all the European countries were able to sit together and to decide that they want this. And this has never happened before. And it was, of course, due to the political situation that Europe could get out of the criticism what it has faced for a long time now because of the external borders, because of the Mediterranean Sea. Suddenly Europe can play the hero again and say, hey, we take everybody in who is fleeing from war, could like make up again the humanitarian phase, show that Russia is the evil and Europe is the good. So there was a lot of political play behind it, but it was very clear that they are talking about the white Ukrainians. It was clear from the beginning, and that the anti-black racism was like from the beginning part of it.
What has been decided and what is now being offered to third country national refugees?
Everybody who comes from Ukraine who has called meaningful links to Ukraine can get a permit of paragraph 24. Germany has translated into only people with a permanent residence or with family members who are real Ukrainians can get the 24, and people from Afghanistan, Eritrea and Syria, because these are the three countries Germany, from the German perspective, is considering not to be safe, because Germany is deciding which country is safe and which country is not safe. All from a white German perspective, they decide this. So we have this group who can apply for the 20, or who will get probably the 24, and they have already got it, also the people through that regulation. We have the second case of people who cannot turn back to their so-called home countries permanently and safely. Here we have a big problem. Who decides what is permanently? Who decides what is safely? Here they will also work together with the Bundesamt für Migration und Flüchtlinge, with the BAMF, and we know how the BAMF is treating people, for example, from West Africa, from North Africa, because they claim these countries to be safe, although they are not safe for everybody. So, and this is a really big thing, because instead of seeing the meaningful links of the people they have in Ukraine, it's more like they have to prove that they cannot go back to their so-called home countries. And this is a very big difference to the Ukrainians, because they don't have to prove anything. If they come from a quite quiet place in Ukraine or not, they come from Ukraine, this is enough, they get the 24. And people who come from other countries, they have to prove that they really cannot go back permanently and safely. Then we have the third group, which is offered to the non-Ukrainian citizens who studied. And here they can get a permit to study, but they have to show that they can work to maintain themselves, to not get social money. Then they will get another article, not the 24, another article, the 16F, for the studying. And then we have the fourth group, which says, this is the so-called Berlin regulation, which says, okay, all students, and this is very important, they're only talking about students, not about the other third national country who didn't study, they can have the possibility to have 6-month Fiktionsbescheinigung, like a fiction of the Article 24. And in this time, they should show that they can find a work and that they can enroll in a university. And this is also ridiculous because everybody can apply for the 24. They don't need the permission of Berlin to apply for the 24. Everybody is allowed to apply for the 24 and to get the Fiktionsbescheinigung. This is a normal bureaucratic strategy. And offering this 6 months, I think it's really not enough, because you cannot like reach the level of C1 in German, what you need for studying. You cannot enroll. And if you see 6 months from now, the universities will not even have given an answer to an enrollment or to an application to a university. So I think this is really a farce. Like, at least you could have given more month time, but we don't want all this separation. We want the 24, paragraph 24, for everybody who has fled the same war. Finish. And that was possible in Germany. That is also possible in Berlin. But there's a big, big fight of all the levels of institutions not to give the 24 to, mostly, we have to name it, Africans.
I'm seeing you nodding your head about this 6 months Fiktionsbescheinigung, about the language. Is there something you can say to that before?
I cannot speak about from a refugee perspective because I'm not, but I'm a migrant student and I also needed to gather all these requirements, and it was a long process. So I cannot even imagine how it would be for somebody who is coming from a traumatic experience, from fleeing like a place that are not even their hometowns. Like, there is a reason why they were in Ukraine in the first place. So for me, it's more like, imagine like everything that I struggle here to like build something here, also traumatized by all these things, and then from one day another I lose everything. I need to build again all of this, and it's like, okay, maybe they are gonna understand because we are all coming from a very violent experience, but no, they remind you that you are not you don't deserve the same like humanity in a way, and that's very shocking. And yeah, like, how can you achieve C1 in 6 months? Just coming from like, people just go out with the backpacks. They didn't knew that all of this is gonna happen. They didn't brought all the documents. The universities in Ukraine don't want to let these documents go. For example, I'm in an art school, so you need to provide a portfolio. Like, how can you build a portfolio coming from war? Like, allow these, like, also they have specific dates of application and systems. Like, you will never get in this, not because you cannot, it's just because it's designed to leave you out. And yeah, it's just like very frustrating to see like that on the other side, on the outside, on the superficial side, they want to show themselves that they are inclusive, they are like progressive and modern, and they are like questioning, and they are really critical and so on, while they kind of build these like rules of a game where you never be able to achieve everything that they are telling you. So that's very frustrating, and like I think, yeah.
This is my voice, my weapon of choice.